Commander's log, stardate 150607. How we all doing this week? I'm not doing too bad. I think I'm actually coming down to something, but hey, it happens sometimes. I also have to pay a visit to sick bay later. All right, now before we get started, I need to report on a couple things. As early as Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, I saw in the news where Nichelle Nichols, Commander Uhura, has suffered a mild stroke. However, she is... Where's it at? There we go. Nichelle Nichols has suffered from a minor stroke. However, she has had both a CAT scan and an MRI done. The CAT scan came back negative. However, this is a little old, but we're still awaiting results from the MRI. She's awake, she's eating, in good spirits, having full conversations. Right side has shown minor signs of mobility loss, but no signs of paralysis. That's good. That's very good. Nichelle, I'm hoping for you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you. I hope you recover. Hope you come out of this good, full recovery. I'm just glad there's no paralysis. I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you. All of us here at Prosper, much love to you. The Prosper salute, and I hope you pull through. Also, I got to give some love to Sven Campbell right off the bat, because he actually beat me to some Star Trek news. Adam Nimoy is putting together a documentary on his father, calling it For the Love of Spock. Okay? Now, Sven, you beat me to this one. That doesn't happen very often. So to you, my friend, I give you some love before the beverage and the Prosper salute, my friend. Speaking of beverages, I'm getting a little thirsty. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. There we go. Cheers to you all. Kapla, as they say in the Klingon Empire. Ooh, that's good. That's good, just right. Alright. Got to start now. I started out on a kind of a somber note, build up a little bit, so now let's get this thing going right. Let's go with the birthdays. First birthday, from the first, of course. Got to go from the first. Talking about George Chadwell. Now, I actually met him when I went to Bible camp a few years ago. George, how you doing, my friend? How's life treating you? Hope things are going well for you. My friend, miss chatting with you off and on. Hey, I hope you enjoyed an adult beverage. Cheers to you, my friend. Alright, next on the list, this gal runs the Facebook page Star Trek Universe. Cassandra, I'm probably gonna butcher this. If I do, I apologize. Cassandra Becerra, Becerra. Cassandra, my dear, I hope you had a happy birthday. Keep on keeping on with all the Star Trek pictures and articles and stuff. I give you the Prosper salute, my dear. Alright, next on the list from the third, also, Shaun Williamson. Now, I worked with this guy when I was in Germany. Shaun, my friend, how are you doing? I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope you're not getting spoiled by beach life out in South Kakalaki. My friend, I hope you had a good one. You deserve it. The Prosper salute to you for all you've done for me. And I drink to you. Alright, next up on the list, I know this gal from here, from Earth Station, Okinawa. Jessica Cochran. Jess, dear, how are you? I saw you had to go home not too long ago. I hope everything's okay. I really do. I hope everything's okay. I look forward to seeing you when you get back here. And I drink to you. Alright, next up on the list, from the fourth. Excuse me. I knew her as Amanda Bowers. I'm talking about you, Amanda Miller. How's life going for you? I started this show back last July. I should have given you some love for that one. I should have given you some love sooner for that. I'm sorry, but I hope you're doing okay. I hope this entry finds you well. I hope you had a happy birthday. Drink to you, my dear. Alright. Next up on the list, Met him through Josh Baker, a mutual friend of ours. I'm talking about Jim Wellman. Jim, bud, dude, how's it going, man? I hope you had a happy birthday. Hope things are going well for you. I drink to you, my friend. I look forward to meeting you someday, sitting down talking Trek with you. I really do. Alright, next up on the list, also from the 5th. I know him here, work with him here, Earth Station, Okinawa. John Davis. John, my friend, how you doing? I hope life's treating you well. I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope your wife spoiled the crap out of you. My friend, I drink to you. Hope things are going well for you. And the last birthday for the week comes to us from the 6th. I want to say the 71st anniversary of D-Day. Heather Webb. Heather, sunshine. How's it going? How are you doing? How's life treating you? Hope things are going well for you. I really do. Miss seeing you here and there. Hey, I hope you had a good one. I hope someone spoiled you, and I wish you a happy birthday. Alright, birthdays. Done. Let me extend some additional greetings here. Let me knock these two out. These two, James Swiderski and Megan Mugallion. You've heard those names on here before. I hope you two are doing okay. I know you're in a spot right now to where many details can't go out. But hey, tell you what, if you two need anything, I've got your address. Just shoot me a line. Let me know. I'll hook you up. I will do the best I can for you. Knew those two in good old Germany. Good friends of mine. I drink to the two of you. Alright, now, I got to give some love over to the crew over at Synthaholics. I sent these guys an email last week, and they read it on their podcast. And it sounds like they're going to have me on for a future episode. Hopefully, I can work something out with you guys. And, man, I would love the opportunity to sit down and talk Trek with you. You guys, your podcast is awesome. The three of y'all just gel so well. You three gelling like a felon, you could say, if you would. You guys are awesome. You guys have fun, and it's enjoyable. I'm really enjoying your podcast. I'm really looking forward to it with you guys. All right, now these next two recently acquired an item from me, like mine. And one of them recorded a video just for me, like a quick 1-minute video for me, and the other modeled it on her page. The first one, the video, came from Christine Hope, Trek Lady C, and the other gal I knew from England, the lovely Krystal Lloyd of Krystal Addiction. You two are awesome. Thank you so much for showing this thing off. I really love it. Help me spread the word. I'm at 274 on my Facebook page. I want to get to 300. I would love to get to 300 by Independence Day. Give me a hand. Do what you can. Lucky number 300 is going to get some love on this here show. But to you two ladies, for the time being, I give you the Prosper salute, and I drink to you. All right. Now, before I go any further, I should have tacked this on with the end of the birthdays. But a special wedding anniversary. I saw it on the 6th, but I'm thinking it's from the 5th. Freaking time zones, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm going with it from the 6th to my lovely Uncle Gary and Aunt Mary Dimmitt. To you two, happy anniversary. I think, if I remember right, it was 44 years. Hey, you got another 31 years before you two can think about But hey, if you two have made it 44 years, I don't see why I don't see why things are going to change now. But to you two, I give you the Prosper salute. Congratulations to the both of you, and I drink. All right, couple more real quick plugs. Another friend, another guy that I met through Josh that I haven't had a chance to meet in person, but I'm really hoping to sometime. Willy Holt. Will, my friend, how are you? I hope things are going well for you. Man, you seem to know your Trek also. I would love to sit down and talk Trek with you. But hey, Prosper salute and a drink. All right, now, the final plug. This guy's actually been keeping me company here recently. He's been keeping me company here the last couple weekends. Joe Heckman, also known as the Epic Mustache with a Man. Joe, bud, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm looking forward to finishing our Madden tournament. We did the playoffs. Joe's a Cowboys fan. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to like a team. Hey, if we all like the Colts, we'd all think the Patriots were cheaters. But hey, cool thing is, he does. He does think the Patriots are cheaters. Good on him. But no, we went through last year's playoffs. He was the Cowboys. I was the Colts. And guess which teams made it to the Super Bowl? Cowboys, Colts. It's going to be a replay of Super Bowl 5, folks. I'm telling you. But hey, Joe, looking forward to seeing you here in a little bit. And a drink to you. All right. Extra love given. All right, now, StarTrek.com had a poll. They put out a poll. The question was, which series had the coolest uniforms? Now, they haven't exactly closed out the poll yet, so I don't have numbers as exactly who all voted for what. But there is a big enough margin of error. There is a big enough margin between first and second to where I can safely call Deep Space Nine was number 1 with 31%. Second and third and fourth and fifth were pretty close. Deep Space Nine was at 31% with the coolest uniforms. I think they actually showed their crew members wearing the most combination of uniforms. Nope, scratch that. It's actually tied with the Next Generation. But hey, Deep Space Nine at 31%. Next Generation right behind them at 23%. Voyager's sneaking in at third with 22%. The original series, 14%. And Enterprise, a whopping 10%. So that's your poll from this week at StarTrek.com. Let's move to this week in Trek history. Got a lot of them this week. June 1st, 1940, Rene Auberjonois was born. He played Odo on Deep Space Nine, the first changeling that the Federation ever encountered from the Gamma Quadrant. He also played Colonel West in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, a Starfleet officer who conspired with Klingons to assassinate Chancellor Gorkon and the Federation president. Phenomenal actor. Hey, also on the first, in 1984, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock premieres in the United States. All right, moving on to the second. Near 1971, Anthony Montgomery was born. Ensign Travis Mayweather of Star Trek Enterprise fame. Now, believe it or not, he graduated from Ball State. I did not realize that. I knew he was from Indiana, but I didn't know he graduated from Ball State. That's amazing. That's amazing. That actually kind of opened my eyes a little bit. All right, moving on. 6 years later, in 1977, Zachary Quinto was born. Played Spock in the J.J. verse version of Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness. I've actually got a little thing about him that I'll get into later. June 3rd, 1969. Now, I wasn't around for that, obviously, but I think some of you might have been on that day. Turnabout Intruder, the finale to Star Trek: The Original Series aired. Star Trek: The Original Series cut short, but the third season was kind of all right, we'll do it to shut you all up. It was one of those deals, but hey, it is what it is. All right, moving on. June 4th, 82, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan is released in the United States. Featured the death of Spock. Unfortunately, we all experienced the real deal not too long ago, but hey, it is what it is. All right, moving on. Here's a big one. This one's real life, but it does involve Star Trek. June 6th, 1944. D-Day. Now, why am I asking that? Or why am I bringing that up? Juno Beach. One of the stormtroopers on Juno Beach. Well, I call them stormtroopers, but hey, one of the people that landed on Juno Beach, James Doohan, he suffered 6 bullet wounds. I think 4 in his leg, 1 in his hand, which caused him to lose his middle finger, and 1 to the heart. In fact, the only thing that actually saved him was a silver cigarette case that his brother had given him. Now, I'm not an advocate whatsoever for smoking, but hey, it turns out that, ironically, smoking saved his life that day. Indirectly. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, I missed one. June 2nd, 1999, the Deep Space Nine finale, What You Leave Behind, airs. Now, that is one finale that it didn't seem like a finale. I honestly felt it left too many doors open. They could have went on to another season from that point if they wanted to. But hey, it was 7 years. That's the typical run of a Star Trek series. They know what they're doing. They get paid to make TV shows. I don't. So hey, it is what it is. June 7th, I get two more. June 7th, 1972, Carl Urban is born. Played Dr. McCoy in the JJ Verse Star Trek movies, which he nailed his part. I mean, looking at it, I would honestly think that he is a young Dr. McCoy. I think he pulled it off. And on June 7th, 2007, Zachary Quinto is officially offered the role of Spock in 2009's Star Trek. Whew. Let me breathe. Let me drink. Alright, this week in Trek. Done. Let us move into the databanks. This week's entry, Cat's Paw from the original series. The Enterprise crew finds witches, black cats, and haunted castles on a distant planet. Sounds like a Halloween episode. This one could actually be kind of spooky if you weren't ready for it. Alright, let's move behind the scenes. The title of this episode, Cat's Paw, is a term that describes a person used by another as a dupe. As McCoy points out, Scott and Sulu are used as cat's paws to lure more crewmen down to the planet. Robert Bloch based this episode very loosely on his own short story, Broomstick Ride. Bloch also wrote What Are Little Girls Made Of? In both episodes, the old ones figure into the guest characters' backgrounds. Fascinating. Although this was the first episode of the original series season 2 in production, filmed in early May of 1967, it did not premiere until the week of Halloween 1967. It was, in fact, written in a Halloween-type theme for just that reason. This episode also remains, to date, the only Star Trek production produced as a holiday special-type episode. Now, see, who would have known that Star Trek had a holiday special, let alone it being Halloween? Did anybody else know that? I didn't know that. Well, actually, I take that back. I'd read that somewhere. But hey, that confirmed it. This episode marks several changes to the episode credits. From this point on, the episode titles and end credits are in the same font as the main title of the series. Directors and writers are credited at the beginning of Act 1 instead of the end of the last act. DeForest Kelley's name is added to the opening credits. Also, Gene Roddenberry is credited as series creator in the opening credits. Several bloopers from this episode can be found in the second season blooper reel, including a shot of Scotty walking down the steps and tripping. I thought that was humorous. I had to add that. This episode introduces two plot elements that were revisited in stories later in season 2. First, the theme of extragalactic aliens taking human form and then becoming inundated with human sensations was revisited in episode 50 by any other name. Second, the subject of an eccentric man with uncommon powers and accompanied by an apparently intelligent black cat who later turns into a black-haired woman is revisited in Assignment Earth. Here we go. Remember how I was talking about D-Day earlier? In a scene where a hypnotized Scott is aiming a phaser pistol at Kirk and Spock, it is evident that Scott is missing a finger on his right hand. He is only holding the phaser, but with two fingers, ring and pinky. As I said, this is because actor James Doohan lost his right middle finger when he was part of the Normandy invasion during World War II, serving as a lieutenant in the 13th Field Artillery Regiment of the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division. After recovering from his wound, Doohan graduated from Air Observation Pilot Course 40 with 11 other Canadian artillery officers. For the rest of the war, he flew artillery spotter planes, earning the reputation of the craziest pilot in the Canadian Air Force. That's funny. The craziest pilot in the Canadian Air Force. You know what? I'll drink to the craziest pilot. One of the cat's roars was recycled as the trademark growl for Bowser in the various games such as Mario Party and Mario Golf. Now, I didn't know that. Alright, here we go. Walter Koenig joined the cast as Pavel Chekhov in this episode, despite his character having already met Khan Noonien Singh in the previous season's Space Seed, as noted in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Also note the large wig worn by Koenig in this episode, which was later dispensed with when his own hair was long enough. That's funny. This would be the third and final appearance of Michael Barrier as DeSalle. James Doohan's only line of dialogue is the statement, "Everything's vanished." George Takei doesn't speak at all. He simply nods yes and no when his character is queried by Kirk, and later cries, "Aha!" before engaging Kirk in hand-to-hand combat. This is Takei's only non-speaking appearance in the entire series. Theo Marcuse died in a car accident 1 month after this episode aired. He played, what was his name? Korov. He played Korov in this episode. The role of Crewman Jackson was played by regular Trek stuntman Jay Jones. Jones is credited as Jimmy Jones, whom some sources believe was Jones's brother. However, in the 1966 retrospective interview, Jay claimed that the role of Jackson was played by himself as his first assignment on Star Trek, and makes no mention of a brother named Jimmy being involved in the show. This is the first episode to feature all 7 of the classic cast members who would be brought back for future big screen adventures. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, Uhura, Sulu, and Chekhov, although they do not all appear in the same scene together. A detailed metal prop miniature of the Enterprise was created for this episode, then laminated in lucite as one of Korov's tricks. The miniature was donated to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum by Gene Roddenberry. The ornithoid lifeforms were marionettes composed of blue fluff, pipe cleaners, crab pinchers, and other materials. The marionettes were operated with thick black threads that were clearly visible. Most of this was corrected in the remastered version of the episode. The 3 witches seen towards the start of the episode were intended to be shown as floating severed heads, hence the reaction from the landing party at their appearance. The characters wore black turtlenecks against a black backdrop, with light shining directly up into the face. Unfortunately, the effect did not work, and the turtlenecks worn by the actors can be clearly seen. Even in the remastered version of the episode, the oversight is still present. Bummer. That would have been an awesome effect if they could have pulled it off. This is the first episode in which a scope can be seen at the engineering station on the bridge. The science station scope was slightly altered for this episode. It is of a lighter color than the science scope used in the episodes of the first season, and has a circular control added to its left side. The dial control, as first seen in this episode, would remain throughout seasons 2 and 3. The blue planet used in this episode as Pyrus 7, albeit a darker blue to illustrate the spookiness of the planet, was reused in subsequent episodes, representing Argelius 2 and Wolf of the Fold, Sigma Iotia 2 in A Piece of the Action, Troyes in Elan of Troyes, and Scalus in Wink of the Eye, which were all lighter blue color. In this episode, DeSalle wears a red engineering tunic, unlike the gold command tunic he wore in The Squire of Gothos and This Side of Paradise. The character started out as a navigator in Squire, then served as a science officer in Paradise, weird, ending up as an engineer here. The short scene of crewmen in turtleneck uniforms walking in a corridor during Red Alert is stock footage from Where No Man Has Gone Before. This marks the last time that these uniforms are worn by Enterprise crew members. And finally, Spock's reference to the witch's very bad poetry echoes his earlier remarks about the Air Force's poor photography in Tomorrow is Yesterday. That does it for this week's entry. Let me finish my tea. Devoid of life is the brain cells of the average Sequest fan. Ladies and gentlemen, It has been a pleasure, as always, coming to you. But it is time to make like the Enterprise and warp out. So everybody take care. Have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive because, well, you might spill your drink. But more importantly, you might kill yourself or somebody else. And drinking and driving is dumber than being a Sequest fan. And what's worse than that is rooting for little pieces of crap without integrity like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl, and I like softballs, and do you think Caitlyn Jenner would give me the time of day? Brady, men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anyone who is a member of, supports, or defends the Westboro Baptist Church, who tried to picket Leonard Nimoy's funeral but couldn't find it. Ha ha. People like that, things like that, are highly illogical, and I will not make time for them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always for having me into your homes, onto your computers. And as always, live long and prosper.